You are listening to Single Smart Female, Romantic Fairy Godmama Edition. Today's show is sponsored by thecouragekit.com. Are you tired of meeting craptastic men, going on craptastic dates, and feeling craptastically inept at dating and love? Let me rework your dating experiences, single lady. Fun, pleasure, and magic included. No experience required. I'll see you at thecouragekit.com. Hello, lover girl. It's Jen, romantic fairy godmama for smart, successful single women around the world. And today, we are talking about things that women do that they need to stop if they want to find love. Now, full disclosure before we get started, I am going to be stepping on toes today, and I don't want to step on your toes, but understand that these things need to be said so you don't keep repeating patterns that will keep you from the love life that you want and the love life you definitely deserve. Let's get started. Number 1. I want women who say they don't want something when they really, really do underneath it all because they want a guy to step up for them instead of having to tell him what to do, to stop doing that. Now, what am I talking about exactly? So let's say you tell a man that you don't want anything for your birthday, for Christmas, for a special occasion when he asks you, and then secretly kind of get aggravated with him when he doesn't get you anything. Well, men are very linear. They're very receptive to what you tell them to do. So if you tell him not to get you something, most men, or a lot of men, think it's a good idea to not get you something because they want to find ways to treat you well and to adore you. So I'm going to ask you to stop doing this. If you don't know in the moment what you want, you say, you know what? I don't really know. Can I get back to you about that? If you want to be surprised, ask him to surprise you. If you want to be surprised with some guidelines and maybe some ideas, tell him, you know what? I love surprises. Would you be open to a few things, a few ideas that you can expand upon to surprise me? That's a great way to handle that. But I want all ladies to stop saying they don't want something when they know that they really, really do, or a version of it. So if you need to start small, and I know a lot of women, they do this because they're afraid they might push them away for wanting too much, or they also do this because they don't know in the moment and they might be upset about something in their life and they're just not in the mood to focus on outlining for a man what to do. They think he should automatically know. But honestly, you're setting yourself up for failure. Every woman is a little bit different and a lot are very drastically different. So if we expect men to just know, we really set them up to fail with us every single time. If you, on the other hand, are willing to clue him in a fun way, or sometimes in a very direct way, on things that light you up, he is going to be much more receptive to that. So this works especially well. It works all throughout an entire relationship, but it's great to set it up at the beginning in the dating phase when he asks you what you want. So ladies, no more saying you don't want something when you really do. And the next piece of that, we're actually going into number 2 right now, is don't expect him to read your mind or know better. I don't know if you know this about men, but men are horrible mind readers. Really, really bad. Plus, every woman, their mind works a little bit differently. So you, again, need to clue him in. Don't tell him, again, like we were talking about, if he asks you if you want pizza and you say no, and then he brings home a pizza for himself, and then you get mad because he didn't bring enough for you. That doesn't work. That's not right. That's not fair. Okay? Don't expect him to say, well, he should just know. No, he shouldn't just know. Just like you shouldn't know everything about him either, unless he is teaching you or letting you know the things that are important to him. Okay? Also, going back to that point that every woman is just a little bit different and a lot of times a lot different, don't expect him to know better. I'm going to clue you in on another secret about men. Men's behavior is almost always as good as the women around him permit. So what does that mean exactly? So if he has women that let him get away with murder and they still keep paying attention to him, then that's where his behavior is at. Okay, that's his standard. Shouldn't be, but essentially he's been taught by women that those behaviors are permissible and he still gets what he wants, which is their attention. Okay? Men shouldn't get your attention if they treat you poorly in any way. So if you have a real problem with certain behaviors, stop getting pissed off about it and confronting him on it all the time, because that's not working. Attention is approval. You keep paying attention to those behaviors and paying attention to him, you've just told him it's okay. So super important. Attention is approval. I want you to really think about that and let that soak in. Next, by the way, just let me go back and rewind for a second. I don't want women to make the mistake and think that they never should say anything. That's not what I'm talking about at all. I just want you to understand, if a man repeatedly commits the same behavior and you repeatedly keep giving him your attention, which is your approval, and you're not paying attention to the other men that should be in your entourage and the guys that are really treating you well, you are saying to him and you are saying to your higher power, to the world, to the universe, that that's the way you prefer to be treated. Okay? Next, this one gets to me. I hear women talk about this all the time. They come to me and things are happening in a certain way. The timeline is not lining up, and they're saying, because everybody in society says that if he doesn't do this by this time, or if he doesn't do this in this way, that means he doesn't like or care about her or even love her. And it drives me absolutely crazy. There are so many ideas out there about what things that men do mean. And they're so very incorrect a large percentage of the time. There's a huge disconnect that is going on between men and women right now. And a lot of that disconnect is coming from we as women are becoming more powerful, and the information that's supposed to be cluing us in on men is really not good. So you need to take some steps back from that. You need to relearn what men mean. At the foundation, men really care about women. Most men do. I'm not talking across the board anything, but most men really care about women, and most men really want to adore the women in their lives, most mentally stable ones, for that matter. Even others who aren't willing to admit it. That's at the foundation. It's a very core thing that they're born with. They want to make the women in their lives happy. Catch is they can't make us happy. We have to make ourselves happy. The only thing they can do is contribute to our happiness. So I need you ladies to stop listening to the entire world about what everything means with men. Because there's a good chance if your love life is not going the way you want it to, then you are listening to the chatter of your friends, the chatter of your family, the chatter on the internet of what everything means. And it is setting you up to fail in love. So take some steps back from it, like I did when I first started this process in 2006, and realize and acknowledge that the things that you are being taught about men may be very, very incorrect. It's really important to hold on to, and that your perception of men may need some tweaking so that you can create the love life that you really want. Coming to number 3. I can't stand this one, and I know I used to do this a lot when I was dating, and then I changed it in 2006, and it made the biggest difference in my love life. Okay, not the biggest, but it made a very profound difference in my love life. And this is getting worse as time goes on and the dating landscape changes, but we women leave things open-ended with men. So you go out on a date. This is just one small example. There are lots of different examples, but I'm going to use this one. So you go out on a date. And he, at the end of the day, says, I had a really great time and I'd love to see you again. And you say, me too. I'd love to see you again. He goes, okay, well, I'll call you. This is a very specific example too, but leaving things open-ended like this, it convolutes the energy. What you as an adored woman should start to say instead, and don't be worried about pushing them away, because the only guys you're going to push away are the ones that are not meant for you, is say, I really had a great time too. And I'd love to see you again soon. How do you feel about calling me on, say, Wednesday around 5 so we can discuss the next time and plan the next time we see each other? Okay? Or you can make that a little fun so we can discuss our next partner in crime adventure. There's just lots of fun ways that you can tweak that to get him excited. Now, 2 things happen when you do this. You've just instructed a guy on how he can adore you in a fun way, okay? Something that he can be very receptive to, or a lot of men are very receptive to, unless he has his own issues. But you're actually setting the situation so that you can learn that about him and not have to waste all of your time trying to figure this out. So when you do that, the second thing that happens, you set him up to win with you. The second thing that happens is that you're giving your brain a break. Ladies, I know what you do because I used to do it all the time. You all, once you set up that date, you start checking your phone incessantly, waiting for him to call you, to text you. And you waste so much time. In the business world, this is called context switching, because you're supposed to be focusing on things that are important to you outside of dating, and you're looking for him. You waste so much time between social media, between checking your phone, all of that stuff. Instead, and also, by the way, just a little side note, this is a great way if you want a guy to call you instead of text you. This is a great way to do it. Call me, and you've instructed him again to call you. So instead, when you do this, when you're willing to stop leaving things open-ended all the time, you can do it sometimes, but more often than not, you're getting this clarity. You have just given yourself a break to stop checking for stuff. And then, if he doesn't call you, say at 5 on Wednesday, then you can relax. It might be a little disappointing, but it's better than waiting for hours on end for him to call you. By 5:30, he's probably not going to call. So you can then shift your attention to the other men in your entourage. And if you want to learn how you do things after that, that's stuff that's more deeper interplay between men and women that I cover in my program, The Courage Kit. And you can go to thecouragekit.com. All right, next, we talk about leaving things open-ended. This one kind of works in that scenario as well. So this is leaving things open in case somebody else asks you out. So I'm teaching you how to build your mantourage here at Single Smart Female. Mantourage is dating more than one man at a time until you find your forever man, or indefinitely if you so choose. What a lot of women do is they kind of do a half-ass mantourage. And by half-ass mantourage, I mean they'll have a couple guys that they're kind of talking to, but they have that one guy that they're still hyper-focused on because they like him the most. There's nothing wrong with liking somebody the most. But the problem is, what happens is when you do, and you always leave things a little open-ended with the other guys, so that they're your backup, then you really are saying you're putting all of your romantic attention on that one guy before he has made it clear that he is that into you as well, that he is ready for that next step of relationship exclusivity. And it convolutes the energy and the power of the mantourage. So again, it becomes a half-assed mantourage instead of a powerful mantourage where you start to get everything you want in your love life. Plus, you're saying to him that it's okay for him to leave everything with you last minute because you're willing to drop everything just to spend time with him. How messed up is that? It's extremely messed up. It's like nothing else in your life has priority over him. Ladies, love life is amazing. I want you to have a love life. But you need to prioritize yourself first. And that means you prioritize the guys that you're going on a date with, that you've committed to. You commit to having fun with that person. If you've already said yes, don't back out. That's bullshit. It wouldn't feel good if it was the other way around. Let's say a guy is dating a couple of girls and he is exploring his options as well. and he decides that he's going to cancel a date with you because he's got a girl that just momentarily he likes better. I think it's bullshit. If you commit to going out with a guy, commit to going out with a guy and have a great time. Do it. Have fun. Explore your options. Do not tell me that entourage dating doesn't work when you do it half-ass. Because I know it does. And that's exactly what I did. My husband, he would disappear for weeks at a time. Weeks at a time. So what I did is I focused my attention on the guys that were treating me the way that I want to be treated. When I went on a date, I did not break that date so that I could be with somebody else because I thought that that was my better option for the evening. I instead let him reschedule with me for another day, and I committed to having an amazing time and enjoying the man that I was going out with at that time. Okay? At some point, as you do this, as you explore your options, as you become unapologetically romantic and put yourself first, you're requiring the guys around you, without having to say it, to step up and be the men of your dreams if they want your undivided attention. When you drop everything for that guy because you're afraid of so many things, and plus you really want the better option right at that moment, you're saying to him, to the world, to the higher power, to the universe, that your exploration of your love life doesn't matter. It only matters what he wants. Okay? So please, let's stop doing that all right here, right now. Okay, next, going on. This is one I see all the time, and this is very common with women. I see it with men too, but this is really, really common with women. Ladies, I know a lot of you have been hurt in your past by men. I concede that it's hard. I've been there. I've experienced a lot of things. I've worked with a lot of women that have experienced a lot of shit. And it is scary to put yourself out there romantically again. And you will not get rid of all the pain right away. Yes, you are going to go through a process of learning to trust men again. That is definite. But we as a society, especially women, have decided to cling to our pain instead of our happiness. We are more protective of how pissed off we are than being protective of our own happiness and exploring that more than and exploring who we are as women. So, yes, I want you to feel your feelings. That is, I'm not saying that ever, but I want you to dedicate yourself more to the happiness. Happiness is a muscle, by the way. It's something that you can retrain your brain to experience. And I know some of you are listening to me right now going, Jen, I've experienced depression for as long as I can remember. And I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm not saying that there are not biochemical tweaks in your body that can be tweaked, but I also know that regardless, I still believe underneath it all that you have the power to be happy, that you have the power to trust men again. And I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but you have to decide what you're committed to, the happiness or the pain. It's your decision. Again, I'm not negating your feelings. Really, really important. I think we as women should feel our feelings, but I think we need to put it into a container that it's not the only thing we experience in life, and start to retrain ourselves to stop focusing so much on men and their happiness, and stop being so angry with them about the fact that we've, set them up to be selfish in many ways. We've allowed them to continue some of the bad behaviors. Not all of them, ladies. I'm not talking about all of them. So I'm not putting the blame on us for a lot of things. But I just want us to own some responsibility in the fact that we put our attention on them, a lot of attention on them, and then neglect ourselves during the process and then get pissed off at them for it. I want you to stop that. I want you to put yourself first, your happiness first, your experiences first. And I am not denying that this is scary as shit at first because of the fact that we get nervous we're going to push him away. But that's why I do the work I do, because you deserve and you can have romantic happiness, life happiness. And it doesn't mean I'm going to get rid of all your bumps and bruises along the way, but you can have that. You can experience that, and you can train yourself to take yourself to that next level. But again, stop being so protective of your pain. We as women, a lot of us have experienced some tremendous amounts of pain, different degrees of it. And I don't want to compete. I don't want us competing with who's had the most pain, because some of you ladies have been through some real legit shit. And I've had my own versions of legit shit. But we can start processing all those things and moving, baby stepping if you need to, into really protecting your happiness, protecting what's important to you, cultivating an atmosphere that allows you to take your thinking, take your being, take your love to the next level. Which brings me to the last point that we are going to talk about today. And I see this with women all around the world, different levels of success, some of my most successful women in their fields and their careers. I really, really get gutted every time I keep hearing this come up, because it comes up so frequently. And I work with a lot of women and help them tweak this, but this keeps creeping in. And it is the fact that women base their actions and interactions with him on being afraid of pushing him away. So what does that mean exactly? So women, again, due to all this false information we were talking about first, about keeping men's attention and stuff, that is out there and is really messing with our brains. Women will sleep with him too soon. She'll have sex when she doesn't want to. Won't say things that are important to her because she doesn't want to scare him off. The list literally goes on and on. And again, all women do this. My boldest women who say, I don't give a fuck, do this, do a version of this. And it has to stop. It really, truly has to stop for you to step into the love life that you really want. You'll get versions of it if you don't step into it. You might convince a guy that you're the perfect woman for a little while, but at some point you're going to become, because you're playing small on who you really are and what you really want, you're going to become bitter and resentful. And then that woman that he thought he fell in love with at the beginning, she disappears. She's completely fucking gone. So I want you as a woman to start acknowledging who you really are, the things that you really want, and understand that, yes, you're going to have to do some tweaking in how you approach dating, and you're going to have to explore your options, and you're going to have to be more courageous than you've ever been before and romantically unapologetic. But you deserve that. You deserve to draw in those amazing things, that awesome guy, the guy, that you love to be with and loves to be with you and adores you down to your core, what you consider your ugly flaws and all of that. You deserve that, and you can have it, but you have to keep doing that, taking those next level steps, doing that next level thinking, going into and shifting your mindset about men and all the things that I cover in my program, The Courage Kit, where I can help you do that and help you take it to the next level. It is a practice. I'm not going to lie to you. Everybody who tells you I'm going to teach you in an ebook how to do this with a guy so you have all the secrets of a guy, you're missing the biggest foundation of all. Yes, there are some things that you can learn about men, really important things that'll be very helpful in your love life. But the biggest thing that nobody is teaching you is how to discover who you are in the context of romantic love. We women are the ultimate powerhouses in life and love. But most of us have given that honor to men, or are angry that they think that men still have that men are still dictating everything. And you can see instances of that in society. I'm here to teach you the real secrets of it, the things that you aren't being taught. I want you to stop being confused and stop having all these doubts about men and worried all the time, and allowing things to unfold in your life so you go on a real romantic adventure. One that when you get to your deathbed, you're like, oh my God, thank you, Jen. I really got to experience life and love. And you will, if you start letting go of these pieces that we talked about today and stepping into the other pieces, you're going to experience all of that. Thank you, Lover Girl, for joining me on this romantic fairy godmama edition of Single Smart Female. Don't forget to text this episode to all of your single smart girlfriends, as well as visit me at singlesmartfemale.com. I'll talk to you next time, and here's to you having everything you want in life and love. Today's show is sponsored by thecouragekit.com. Are you tired of meeting craptastic men, going on craptastic dates, and feeling craptastically inept at dating and love? Let me rework your dating experiences, single lady. Fun, pleasure, and magic included. No experience required. I'll see you at thecouragekit.com.